Everyone, this is Monica Leggett. I am a life and relationship and business coach, and I was the inaugural speaker for the virtual coffee break for the Greater Valley Chamber of Commerce. And we had a meeting on Thursday morning, the 26th, and the sound, the Zoom connection wasn't very really strong. So I'm re-recording my quick 10, 15-minute presentation, and hopefully we'll get this recording out to everybody. So I practice here in Shelton and virtually, and I do a lot, online with clients anywhere in the country, as well as work one-on-one with clients in my office in Shelton. So today I'm going to talk about from stress to calm, 5 steps to regain and maintain control. And with everything that's going on right now, I thought it would be really helpful to just share some tips on how to sort of calm yourself down, but also how to manage stress in general, because that's one of the topics that I've written a short book on and do some classes and things on. So how many of us wouldn't want to just be sitting on this dock looking at this beautiful scenery? But the reality is, we're stuck at home, and maybe with more people than we normally have at home, and maybe trying to balance work and help our kids, or worry about our seniors in our life, that they're, maybe you're a caregiver as well. So there's a lot of things that we're worrying about, and we wish we could just, say, Calgon, take me away. And I'm dating myself. That was a commercial back in the, 60s, 70s. And actually, you actually can imagine that you're on this dock. You can close your eyes and take a few slow, deep breaths, and you can imagine yourself in your favorite, vacation city or resort or beach. And that actually can really help you calm down. So you don't have to be there. You don't have to get on a plane and go to wherever this place is. You can actually imagine yourself there. And that is one little tip that you can do at any time through the day. But the reality is, if we want to feel better, we have to take charge of our own lives. And I have a favorite book by David Emerald. He wrote The Power of TED, and then he wrote a new one called 3 Vital Questions. And in it, he really talks about what kind of mindset are you in? Are you in a victim mindset where you're blaming and you're worried and you're focusing on the problem and you're resisting reality? You feel like you have no control over the outcome. Maybe you're waiting or hoping or expecting someone else to fix things. And this just increases your stress. And believe me, we all end up in a victim mindset one time or another. And if you're really good at it, you can shift to a creator mindset in a matter of seconds. Say, wait, you know what? I know I don't have control over everything. I'm going to accept whatever the reality is, whether you're working at home with other people or you are dealing with this health crisis or whatever else. Accept reality and accept others for who they are. And that helps you to feel empowered to act, and it lowers your stress. So if you did a Google search, you might find that there are some strategies on how to lower your stress. And these were some of the ones that I found. So to help your inner state, they're going to say things like to treat your body better. You want to eat good food, you want to get your sleep, don't stay up late watching the news. Build in some time to relax and have fun. Get some exercise to work off your stress. Even if it's just go outside and take a walk in your yard or around the block, get some exercise. You can try meditation. I know a number of people who've added a morning meditation to their day, or doing some yoga or Tai Chi or something like that. And if nothing else, just taking the time to breathe, because sometimes we forget to breathe. We're literally holding our breath, and that just increases the stress in your body. So just take a few slow, deep breaths. If you have to close your eyes, shake it off, do something that just helps your whole body, your whole system calm down. I won't get into all the neuroscience, but you have a sympathetic nervous system that kind of revs you up, and then you have the parasympathetic nervous system that calms you down. And you can tap into that on your own. You can also look at some of the underlying causes that are causing you stress. And it might have to do with time management, which is really hard, again, when you're not in your normal workspace. You want to learn to say no. And I know, I mean, I'm just living here with my husband, so there's not a lot of boundaries, but it's helpful to say, you know, I'm going to work from now to now. And then if we want to take a break, and that way we're not constantly interrupting each other with a question, or, you know, one of us gets restless and starts walking around the house and distracting the other. So we've learned to set some boundaries, and learning to say no. If you are the kind of person that is always helping everyone else and not helping yourself enough, that's kind of what this learn to say no is about. And limit exposure to the doom and gloom. So, you know, turning off the TV, or if you have to, just check in once a day. We all want to be, you know, good citizens and know what's going on, but we need to limit the doom and gloom. So there are a lot of new stresses in our new reality. And if this was a live session, I'd have you go in the chat box and say, what's one new stress that you're noticing as a result of being home? Maybe you don't have everything you need. I actually went out to the store yesterday and got my husband an Ethernet cable so he could connect his computer directly to the router. Your normal interactions have vanished. So you might be feeling out of touch. There might be a loss of income or concern that you might end up losing income. Maybe you're sharing your space with other family members. One member of the chamber was saying that, you know, she's a caregiver. Her mother lives at home with her. So she's really afraid of bringing home any germs. And she's also trying to balance working from home and being there with her mom. So, and that goes the same if you have young kids in the house. How are you going to get your work done while you're also helping your kids do their work? So there might be some new stress in your new reality. And there might be some chronic things that you stress about. So it's good to be aware of what is causing you the stress. So every situation, every stimulus can lead to a response, whether it's a good stimulus or a bad stimulus. So somebody is now leaving things all around the house. That's a stimulus. And depending on how you interpret it, you may end up reacting in some way that you wouldn't normally be reacting. Like, why are you leaving your stuff all over the house? When we're stressed out, think of it like, you know, your bank account. The more stress you're under, the shorter your fuse, the quicker you're going to react instead of responding in a calm way. So watch what's happening with that stimulus and the reaction. And if you find yourself being much more curt, or getting angry quicker, or feeling more agitated or frustrated by the people around you or the situation you're in, then that's a really good sign. You're probably way up to here and you need to calm your system down. So I'm going to give you a couple other tips in just a minute. So what happens in the seconds between the stimulus and the response is all of your thoughts lead to your feelings, which may also involve that you have some default habits, and you might have a certain mindset that you're in, like, oh, today is so frustrating. So if I had that attitude already, and then something happens, and I think my way right into a tizzy, this leads to a really negative reaction. So watch what happens between that stimulus and the response. And you can retrain yourself to respond differently. So 5 tips that I put together really quick, and then I'll get into a tool that I use with all my clients. The first tip is to name the issue that's causing you stress. And the sooner you can label it, and even maybe mention it to a few people, like actually say, it really bothers me when you're leaving things all over the house. That helps to diffuse it. But if you keep it in, or if you're not even able to label it, if you don't take the time to figure out why you're so stressed out, you can't do anything about it until you label it. The second is to focus on the outcome you want and not on the problem. So yeah, you could focus on how your family is really messy and everybody's leaving everything around the house and just say, stop doing that. Or you could focus on the outcome you want and have a family meeting and say, you know what, we're all living under tight borders. wouldn't it be great if we all could, live in a little bit neater house, and focus on, wouldn't it be nice if the counters were cleared off, or everybody kept their own stuff in their room? There are times when my daughters and my grandkids come to visit, and there tends to be this one place where everybody leaves their stuff. And so it's become a little bit of a running, not joke, but okay, let's put all our stuff in our own room. And then it just feels better for everybody else. It's decluttered. So focus on the outcome you want. You want an uncluttered house. You don't want to be nagging. And then the third is about accepting what you can't change. So there are certain people who are wired a certain way, and you might be wired differently. You can't change the fact that we've been asked to stay in our homes. You can't change the fact that, the COVID-19 virus is out there, but you can take control of what you can do about it. The fourth is about keeping a positive mindset. If I am in this is getting so annoying, or I'm really getting frustrated, or why do I have to work from home, or why did I have to cancel that class I was going to give? If I keep focusing on negative and keep that mindset, that just revs up my stress. So do a mindset check and say, all right, let's turn that around. And these are a couple of ones that I use quite frequently, like, I can do this, or I'll find a way, or what is one thing I can do right now? And then the fifth is about taking action based on your new empowered way of thinking, rather than from that triggered negative way of thinking. And my dog is under the table, in case you just heard her shake. We're all sharing our space with the people around us a little differently. So I'm going to share this the 5A change process that I created a few years back with a friend of mine. Anna and I were creating a course, and we kept coming up with these great A words. And so I tweaked them a little bit, and I added a third one in the middle. So I call it the 5A change process. And I coined a phrase about 3 years ago, and I wrote a little book, it's on Kindle, about break free from the STOP syndrome. So STOP is stress, tension, overwhelm, and procrastination. And this tool kind of helps you get out of that feeling of feeling stuck. You have either no control, or you don't know what to do next, or you're feeling overwhelmed. I know there were times when I was procrastinating about a particular project. I had two things going on at the same time, and I was feeling really stuck. So I'm going to use that example when I go through these 5 steps. So the first is aware. And just think of it like a cycle, because you're going to end up going through all 5 and then go back to the beginning again. So what am I aware of? I was aware that I had 2 really big projects going on, and I wasn't working on either of them. I felt stuck, and I was procrastinating, and I was clearly in overwhelm. And the ironic thing was, I was working on the book that I was writing, but I also had this other really big project that I was feeling a little resentful. I didn't want to be doing that project. And that's where the second thing was important. I had to accept that I had taken on that role, and it was my responsibility to take care of that thing, and stop resisting it. I was resisting reality, and it wasn't something I could delegate. So I accepted that I was going to take care of that project. And I also, I accepted that I couldn't do 2 things at once. I needed to focus on one thing or the other. So then you get to the attitude, and that's part of that acceptance shift too. Now, instead of feeling resentful and like, why do I have to do this? I was more of an, I'm going to do this. And I assessed my options. Well, what can I do? I looked at both projects. I picked what is the first thing I need to do for each of them. And I picked one of them. And I said, all right, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And that was my assessing what my choices were, and then taking action. And the funny thing is, as soon as I took action on that, of course, I felt so much better. It made a big difference. And it was something that was, it was small. It was literally a phone call and a follow-up email and it was a financial transaction for an organization I was in. And once I got that done, I felt so much better. And then I noticed the next day, I woke up with a million thoughts about my project, the other project that I was working on. So I know there's a connection between feeling like releasing that other thing I was stressed out about and now being able to take on the other project. So it was almost like a cork had been pulled out, and now everything was flowing. Ideas were flowing, energy was flowing. I was feeling so much better. So again, this is a 5-step process. If you just write out these 5 words in this order: aware, what am I aware of? What's working, what's not working? What has me stressed out? What do I want? What's the outcome I want? And then the second word is accept. And we have to accept reality. We have to accept responsibility. We have to accept that it's up to us to make choices. And the third is attitude or mindset or perspective, whatever word you want to call it. The fourth is assessing your options. And the fifth is taking action. And then once you take action, sometimes you need to adjust things a little bit. You look at, oh, did that work? Did that not work? Okay, now I'm back to aware, and maybe I need to adjust things again. So that's my 5A change process, and I'll be, I hope it was helpful. I am going to be giving a couple of 1-hour workshops the next couple of Wednesdays at noon. And if you either look for me on my Facebook page, New Steps Life Coaching, or send me an email, monica@newstepslifecoaching.com. I will get you registered for them. It's a free 1-hour virtual workshop. And I just thought it would be something that as a coach and as someone who's dealt with this topic for a while, it was some way I could help the community. So I hope you'll take advantage of it, and let me know if anything you heard here today was helpful. Again, Monica Leggett, New Steps Life Coaching. And thank you very much. Now I have to figure out how to end my recording. Nope, that didn't do it. Okay. All right. Have a great day.